Assalamu alaikum. Dear friends, how are you? There are certain things which we learn because of the bitter experiences we undergo here in this life. And obviously, these lessons are very hard to forget and shouldn't be forgotten at all. Now, once we have done it, once we have learnt any lesson in a painful manner, we think that I should have learnt it earlier. It would have been much, much better for me. I could have protected me from a pain, from a trouble, from an agonizing experience like this one. Dear friend, today we are going to talk about the lessons of life which we have to learn the hard way. The lessons of life, 14 lessons of life which we actually learn in a hard manner. So, what are these 14 lessons? I think each one of these is very, very important indeed. Each one of these is very, very important indeed. So, I think that we shouldn't be forgetting it at all. And today's discussion is going to be a very, very useful and a very, very beneficial one indeed. So, the first such lesson is not everyone stays. The people we come across, the people we meet, the people we like, the people we sit and chat together, the people we walk together, and these people do have to leave us. They are not with us forever, and this thing which must be kept in the mind. And as far our previous life is concerned, it did happen with us several times, and maybe some of the people will be saying the same thing about us, that we have left them, and our relationship with them is not as good as it used to be. So I think we should be prepared for it psychologically, mentally, in advance. And that is, not everyone stays. That is the lesson number one. The lesson number two is closure isn't always a thing. Relationship, even great ones, and without any definite reason, and without any solid reason. So that also should be kept in the mind. That unexpectedly, suddenly, without an explanation, without any solid reason, someone might leave you, and that too should be kept in the mind. We should be prepared for it in advance. The third is mixed signal means no. The third is mixed signals means no. Mean, if at all somebody is not saying something very clear and very outspoken manner, I think is this signal should be taken as the no. And don't keep yourself in the dark at all. Be very clear, be very open minded, very clear. And this actually, even the rejection, or even if at all somebody is not willing to get connected to us, and is in a sort of in a state of confusion, I think it's better to take that thing as no. And now the fourth is, are you valued? Mean, in the eyes of someone else, do they spend the time with you? Do they make any sacrifice with you? And these are all about the people, the 14 hard lesson. And the fifth is, one action daily will take you to your destination. I mean, if at all you think that I don't have the time for that thing which I want to do, which I have planned, I think remember one thing, that even if at all you are doing one thing in a day, for the achievement of that particular goal, I believe that it will take you to the destination. So never ever forget to do one thing for the achievement of your goal, for the reaching at your destination. And number six is, be intentional. Be intentional. What is meant by this one? Many of the people, or maybe most of the people here in this world, they are just drifting. They are not going according to their plan. And this drifting in the life, it actually means that we are actually spoiling our life. So we don't have to spoil our life at all. It must not be done. It must not be done. So I think that what we need to do is that we should be doing something else. We should plan our life, and we should plan our life, and we should work diligently on that particular plan of ours. We need to work diligently. We need to work diligently on that particular for the achievement of that particular goal, and for the fulfilling of that particular plan, reaching our destination. and we need to improve our planning on the one hand. We need to keep improving our planning on the one hand, and at the same time we need to we need to work diligently upon that, you know. And now the next is seventh is share progress, not goals. I mean, don't tell someone else that you want to reach that goal. Do not tell someone else that you want to reach that goal. It is absolutely, absolutely wrong. Instead, what you need to do is that we can share the progress, that I have done this thing or I have achieved, but never ever tell anyone else that you what you want to achieve ultimately. What is your destination, what is your goal, and what is your plan? Never ever tell this thing to anyone else at all. And now the next is the eighth is do the worst first. Do the worst for what is this, by the way? There are things which are not so interesting, which are boring, which are difficult, which are unpleasant, and which are dreadful. I think that instead of running away from the difficult and from the unpleasant thing, it is very important to do all of these things first of all as soon as possible. Though if at all the planning, the preparation is needed, it must be done. Otherwise, prefer those things once you have done, because once you have done those things, it will be you will be feeling much better, and you will be feeling much more confident. Okay, dear friends. And now the next is the eighth is, and the ninth is limit your exposure to toxic people. There are some toxic people in the society and amongst our relationships as well. So we need to minimize our relationship with these people. We should not be going we shouldn't be spending much of the time with these people. Protect yourself from these negative people who are demotivating us, who are hurting us, and who are not saying the positive things. Number 10, grudges hold you back. Grudges hold you back. I mean, we are seen holding the grudge against anyone else. So these grudges, maybe we are of the view that these will be hurting other people. I think instead of hurting other people, these grudges are hurting we ourselves. And for that reason, I think we should not be doing it at all. We should not be doing it at all. So we need to avoid ourselves. We should not be holding the grudge against anyone else at all. Now the 11th is live in the now. Live in the now. What is this, by the way? Live in the now. We spend a good amount of time thinking and repenting and regretting about the past. We shouldn't be repenting at all about our previous life, and we shouldn't be worrying about our future life as well. As for the previous life is concerned, instead of the worrying, it is far better to learn certain lessons out of that. And as for the future is concerned, it is far better to plan and to develop to have a good plan about the future. Otherwise, we don't neither we need to live in the past, nor we need to live in the future. That must be avoided. The 12th is worrying is pointless. Worrying is pointless. Stop worrying, start living. Why? How? Most of what you worry about almost never comes to pass. And even if it does, it rarely is as bad as you have been thinking. So there is no point in agonizing over situations out of your control. Whatever is not in my control, why to worry about that? First of all, it is not necessarily going to happen. Number one. Number two, even if it does, so it might not be as dreadful as I had been thinking. Now the third is, if at all something is out of my control, if at all something is out of my control, so why to agonize over it? Why to agonize over it? The next is the 13th is, chasing happiness leads to disappointment. Chasing happiness leads to disappointment. My dear friends and fellows, chasing happiness leads to disappointment. So I think that we should learn to seek the happiness out of the small and the trivial things. We need to learn to be happy out of the small and the trivial things. And why to chase the happiness? If because the chasing the happiness will result in the disappointment. We don't have to be disappointed at all. So learn to enjoy from the small, from the trivial thing. And happiness is not a destination that we have reached there and it will stay with you forever. It's not like that at all. Rather, it is a journey. It is a journey, and toward the achievement of predetermined worthwhile goals. And the 14th and the last, and the most important of all these is that your habits define you. Your habits define you. It is your habits will be determine the kind of person you are. And if at all your habits are bad, I think you are the worst kind of person. Somebody, if at all the habits are good, your habits are your assets. Your habits will benefit you more than anything else. And if at all the habits are good, let me assure you that the opportunity will keep knocking at your door forever. But if at all if the habits of somebody are not good at all, it actually means that they are going to be an absolute failure. Thank you very much.